You know, there's something magical about laser engraving, right? It's this incredible blend of art and technology. But the moment you decide to sell your creations, that's when things get real fast. Let's talk about how to make sure your passion becomes a profitable business that actually lasts.
And the opportunity is absolutely massive. The global market for laser engraving is on track to hit a staggering $7.79 billion by 2034. I mean, think about that. The demand for personalized stuff is through the roof, and it's creating this huge opening for creative people like you. Okay, but here's the reality check. For all that opportunity, there's a ton of risk. Nearly half, almost 50% of all new small businesses are gone within 5 years. So the real trick isn't just making cool things. It's building a business that can actually survive.
So how do you beat those odds? How do you make sure you're in the 50% that succeeds? Well, it all boils down to one crucial thing, a mindset shift. You have to stop thinking like a hobbyist and start thinking like a professional. Let's kick things off by busting a few myths that can sink your business before you even get started.
All right, myth number 1, and this is a big one. If people are buying it, you must be making a profit. This sounds like common sense, but it is such a dangerous assumption. Being busy and fulfilling orders has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you're actually making money.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This is the #1 financial trap people fall into. You could literally be drowning in orders, working around the clock, and still be digging yourself into a financial hole with every single thing you sell, and you might not even realize it. This is exactly why knowing your numbers isn't optional.
So how do you avoid that trap? Well, you've got to get friendly with a little something called unit gross margin. Basically, it's the slice of the pie you have left from a sale after you've paid for the direct costs of making that one item. And that slice needs to be big enough. The pros are aiming for 60 to 85% to cover everything else, your rent, marketing, your own salary, and still have something left over to grow the business.
And look, the kind of machine you buy plays a huge role in all of this. If you've got an entry-level hobby laser, sure, you can probably get by with lower margins. But the second you step up to an industrial-grade machine and you're dropping $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, you absolutely have to be hitting those high margins to make that massive investment worth it.
Now let's talk about the machine itself, your most important asset. It's so easy to look at that laser and think, hey, it's just a fancy new tool for my craft, right? Like a high-tech paintbrush. But that right there is a hobbyist talking. And it's a very expensive way to think.
See, the pros, they don't see a tool. They see an industrial asset. They want that machine running and making money, ideally around 85% of the time. That machine needs to justify its own cost, and it needs a strict, formal maintenance schedule to protect it. It's not just for fun. It's a key piece of your manufacturing line. And hey, this isn't just about protecting your investment financially. It's about safety. I want you to really let this sink in. A laser is, quite literally, controlled fire. You're combining a super intense heat source, flammable materials, and oxygen. That combination demands respect. Serious respect.
So what does that respect look like in practice? It looks like a maintenance routine that you just don't skip, ever. Think of it like this. That daily lens cleaning, that's not just cleaning, that's fire prevention. That weekly lubrication, that's quality control. In a professional shop, maintenance isn't a chore. It's how you protect your ability to make money.
Okay, next up, let's talk about the custom everything trap. Oh man, is it tempting, especially for creative people. I'll make whatever anyone wants. But trying to be a jack of all trades is a recipe for burnout, inefficiency, and some really serious legal risks you probably haven't even thought of.
So you've got financial risks, you've got safety risks. But what's the #1 thing that gets new personalization businesses sued? What's the biggest legal landmine out there? The answer might just surprise you.
Yup, intellectual property. Here's the scary part. As the business owner, you are on the hook, legally, for every single thing you engrave, even if your customer gave you the art. So that request to engrave a Disney character or a famous sports team logo, that could land you in a world of legal trouble. And that, right there, is why the most successful and profitable shops often seem, well, kind of boring. They're not doing a million different things. They found a narrow product line they can produce over and over again, efficiently, safely, and without ever having to worry about getting a cease and desist letter.
So when you boil it all down, what's the secret? It's not about the laser. It's never been about the laser. Success comes from the systems you build around it, the financial systems, the operational systems, and the legal systems.
Look, the stats don't lie.
We know why businesses fail. 42% fail because nobody actually wants what they're selling. 29% just run out of money. But for every one of those scary statistics, there's a system you can put in place to fight it. You validate your niche, you forecast your cash flow, you master your profit margin.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. The moment you sell your first item, you're not a hobbyist anymore. You're an entrepreneur. You are now running a small-scale manufacturing business, and your success depends on thinking and acting like it. So I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. Ask yourself this. Are you building a business that sells the endless, chaotic variety of a hobby, or are you building one that sells the focused, profitable reliability of a professional? The choice is yours, and it's going to define everything.